Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Sports with me, Lucia. Just to introduce myself, I am an obsessed sports fan, especially American sports. With the NBA returning to our screens, we will talk about the games in a fun and exciting way. We will also talk about the bubble idea in this episode, analysing it, and maybe if the NFL could do the same. So let's get into starting talking about the games. Number one, we need to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and the LA Clippers. I hate to say this, but I think the Lakers are in trouble if they get the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. When you've got Lou Williams out for the Clippers, you are expected to win by a lot more than a very clutch shot by LeBron James at the end of the game. By the way, what kind of wings are worth having 10 days in isolation for? Just saying. I don't think it was there for the wings. But that's neither here nor there. We can't judge. It's 2020. We shouldn't judge. But seriously, really? Really? That just makes me laugh. The Lakers also don't have a strong bench. Yes, they've got JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, who is finally playing well. Maybe if he played like this the first time he went to LA, he wouldn't have gotten traded, and maybe Kobe wouldn't have had to play his ass into the ground. That just that's just a thought. They need more than this to win a chip. Like the Lakers need more than what they've got to win a chip. The Lakers looked flat. Like I am talking flat, like flat lemonade. Like incredibly flat. When you have such a big legacy like the Lakers do to carry on, it's imperative to look better than what you've already looked. Because as good as the Lakers look on paper, we all know that basketball is not played on a piece of paper. We all know that basketball is played with emotion and heart and soul and everything else. And especially when the greatest Laker died tragically at the beginning of the year. Like you've got that on top of everything else. You've got to look better than this. When you have LeBron James, who is great, not the greatest, because I want to officially retire the word GOAT. It's a silly word that we can't. Why can't we just enjoy greatness? Why do we have to put a label on everything? And L and LeBron James is great now. He wasn't great in the 90s because the 90s was Michael Jordan. The 80s was Magic slash Bird, whichever one you want to put there. The 2000s was Kobe. Now it's LeBron's turn to be the greatest since 2010, since in the 2010s. LeBron did do an amazing tribute to the late great Kobe Bean Bryant, which was very touching by wearing a purple and yellow. I don't exactly know. Is it purple and yellow or is it purple and gold? Because it certainly looks yellow. The uniforms look yellow, they don't look gold. Anyway, that's a question for another day. With a purple and yellow number 24 on his finger, which was very touching. I'm actually very impressed with how poised and composed LeBron has been since the Lakers' death. Since not the Lakers' death, Kobe's death. I'm very impressed because anyone else would have buckled under the pressure. And that has reaffirmed to me that he is one of the greats. Not the greatest, one of the greats. Now, moving on to a team that we need to actually pay attention to, the Milwaukee Bucks. They are a team that we need to pay attention to. I know they're not a major market like LA or New York or even Chicago or even Miami, which anyone can be happy in Miami, if you know what I mean. Or even Boston. Like, Boston's a major market, and so's Dallas. But Milwaukee is a team that we need to watch. When you have the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is so talented. He could win the Bucks their first title since 1971. That is 49 years ago. Wow, imagine him doing that. That would be something. That'd be like somebody coming to the New York Knicks and winning them a title. Actually, it'd be more than that because Milwaukee has had Milwaukee Milwaukee's in Wisconsin, right? Yeah, so they've had Green Bay and Brett Favre. So they've had something. But imagine doing it for the Bucks. That'd be incredible. Giannis is so young. He's only 25 years old and he's already a four-time All-Star and already been an MVP, which I will get into in a later date about the MVP award and why I think that it's absolutely trash. But that's not for right now. That's for a later date. That's for a later discussion. He also has that killer DNA mentality. Giannis is not only a 7-footer that can dunk, he can actually play basketball. He is cerebral. He is like a cat with cat like agility. And honestly, if he started hitting his threes and his jumpers, he could be the best. I am not saying that he is going to be greatest yet because I still think that that's LeBron. And I don't know whether that is just me thinking about the past, but at the moment, at this current point in 2020, this current point of basketball, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best NBA player. I'm just going to put it out there. Another team that we need to seriously start paying a little more attention to. And again, it's a smaller market in the Toronto Raptors. I also think we don't pay enough attention to this because of where they're located. They're not located in the US, they're located in Canada, and we don't pay attention. Well, at least the NBA media do not pay attention to the Raptors. Last year, we missed out on a lot of good basketball because we didn't pay attention to the Raptors. Like, did anyone have on their board the Raptors winning the title last year? I didn't. I had it, like, in all honesty, I had it either been the Golden State Warriors or the 76ers. That is just me. I don't know whether that's because I'm Australian and I love Ben Simmons, who needs to start showing up in games, but I'll discuss that at a later date because do not get on me about the fact that he is not showing up. It's ridiculous. They are looking like they are ready to ball. They are looking like even when you take Kawhi out, didn't tra- it didn't collapse the team, which is what I was expecting it to do. Because Kawhi is a bad is a bad dude. He is so good at playing basketball. Like you don't realize how good he is. They've proven that they can get it done. I'm very, very, very impressed with the Toronto Raptors. And I'm also looking forward to seeing how they go and how they perform closer to playoff time, which is in a couple of weeks. I can't believe the playoffs are in August this year. 2020 has been a very, very, very strange year. And I don't know what's left to come, but I'm just strapping on my seatbelt and making sure that we enjoy the NBA while we've got it because you never know. And in talking about that, I want to switch to now talking about the bubble. It looks from every YouTuber slash NBA player that's there, which I love how they've all gone to YouTube during this time. It's funny to me. It looks so fun and exciting. I was saying the other day to my family, how do I get into the bubble? Like, it looks so much fun and so exciting. From fishing to golf to cornhole, which I have no idea how to play. We don't play that in Australia, but yeah. They look like they're having the time of their life. Like, imagine being with all of your friends on a holiday that you get to do the game that you love, but you have no other distractions. This is what I think is great about the bubble. If you want to check out how each of them are living their lives, I would really encourage you guys to watch Matisse Thurnbull or JaVale McGee's vlogs on YouTube, which they are doing a great job of that. I applaud Matisse's editing. He is doing such a good job. The transitions are so good. He clearly has just sat down and Mamba mentalityed how to be a good YouTuber. So this is my question of the week. What do you think of a bubble idea for the NFL? Do you think it would work? Do you think it wouldn't? Let me know in the comment section down below or go to my IG page, which will be linked in the description, and answer that question for me. In NFL news, we've got OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., former receiver for the New York Giants. He has come out and called for the end of the 2020 season before it even began due to health related concerns, which I get. I do get that. Don't get me wrong, I am. I'm really thoughtful and all that about what's going on in the world. But it makes me think, does he have ulterior motives? Is he not ready to play? Is he not, did he not take the time during this COVID-19 quarantine lockdown to better himself? Is he not ready to be that OBJ that we know and love with those one-handed catches and being incredibly talented? Is he not that? Is he something different? Is he not going to ever be the same again? Those are so many questions that I have in my head about this right now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, right now. I've got questions about that. I've got questions whether his heart is even in the game anymore. Because if you could see last season with him and the Browns, he really did not want to be in Cleveland. And he has Baker Mayfield there, who is a very, very talented QB. I am so excited. So excited for the NFL season to return. If I could give up any sport in the world, and just keep one thing, it'd be the NFL. I love the NFL. My team is the New York Football Giants, and we have had, let's just say, some interesting and challenging seasons. But now that we've got such a young quarterback in Danny Dimes, I am really positive about the future of the New York Giants. We've got him, we've got Saquon Barkley, we've got Golden Tate. We are going to rebuild that O-line and get it to a point where Danny Dimes is protected, but yet he's a very mobile quarterback. He's not what Eli was, which was a statue, and I love Eli. He beat the Patriots twice. Twice. He beat Tom Brady twice. And he gave us 2 Super Bowl rings. He is a legend. He is great. I love him as a player. But the last couple of years of Eli Manning were so hard to watch. My entire body would just, I'd shake because of it. And I'm so glad he's retired. So glad. He gave 16 incredible seasons with the New York Football Giants. 16 incredible seasons. So now going back to the NBA, and I want to talk about the standings. And these are the teams that have clinched their playoff position. So they can't move. In the East, we've got the Bucks, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Heat, the Pacers, and the 76ers. And they're all in order. And then in the West, you've got the Lakers, the Clippers, Nuggets, Rockets, Jazz, Thunder, and Mavericks. So all the other teams in the East and the West are now fighting for the 8th, for the 7th and 8th in the East, and for the 8th in the West. The Lakers have captured the number 1 seed in the West, so they can't be moved, which I'm happy about because you want number 1. And the last time they clinched number 1, they won the title back in 2010. From what I've seen from from these games this past week, this games this whole entire season, these are the two teams who I see coming out of their conferences. The East, I have the Raptors. I don't know what it is about them, but I think we need to start paying more attention to them. They are fantastic. They're amazing. And I think they're an exciting team to watch. And in the West, even though I said earlier that I was worried about them, I've got the Lakers. And here is why. Pulling a Stephen A. Smith here. Here is why. The Lakers have LeBron James. And as much as you want to criticize him for some of the time, he doesn't play defense as well. He's not the one with the ball at the last shot, but for the last shot. He is trying his heart out for the Lakers, and I give him props for that. And I am a huge, huge Lakers fan. So yeah, that's all of my sporting news for this week. I thought I would just do, considering this is the first episode, I would give you a little quick get to know me. So I've got a list of things right here. There's categories right here that I am going to go off of. My favorite basketball player, Kobe Bryant. I've actually got a tattoo of his Kobe Bryant, the 8 and the 24, and the Mamba on my right wrist to memorialize him. His death still gets to me to this day. I still cry about it like almost every day. He was everything to me. My favorite NFL player, Saquon Barkley. I mean, it goes without saying. Favorite food, it's either pizza or popcorn. I love pizza, love it, but I also love popcorn too. Favorite singer, that's easy, Michael Jackson. Like, come on. I love Michael Jackson. I've got MJ tattooed onto me. I love Michael Jackson. Favorite actress, Margot Robbie, fellow Aussie who I love and who is a very, very talented actress. Can do anything from be Harley Quinn to being on the Wolf of Wall Street to being Sharon Tate. She is incredible. Favorite actor, Ben Affleck. I think he is a very underrated actor. He has the potential to be anything, and I think his willingness to do it is incredible. Favorite television show? I've got two, Gossip Girl and One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill because of Chad Michael Murray and also the whole basketball story. I love that story. And Gossip Girl, well, what person who grew up with Gossip Girl didn't love Gossip Girl? Favorite movie? The Lion King, the original one, that was the one that was released, I think, in '95. I love that movie so much, and I cry in the same position every time, and I'm tearing up just thinking about it. So that is all for this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports. I am your host, Lucia Dalbon. So, catch you all next week to talk more, and I will give you more of a rundown of the NBA and where we're going with this NFL potential season not starting. Okay, thank you. Bye.